Frozen Ever After is now closed at Epcot for an animatronics upgrade. On its face, this seems like a really good thing. Those digital faces were the height of creepy to a lot of people, and they had some major fails that led to a lot of viral clips. But
it's true.
Is this upgrade actually going to upgrade the experience, or are we looking at another Tiana's Bayou adventure situation? Let's talk about it today here at That Park Place. Okay, guys, so what's happening here is that Frozen Ever After is being upgraded. It is so when Frozen Ever After started, it was let's see, Ken Reinhardt gets me. He got my joke on its face, exactly. See? You know what I'm talking about.
Got a little role for you as well.
The faces on this attraction, Vash, and I'm sure you could talk a little bit about this more, is the fact that they used projections and digital faces to convey emotion.
Absolutely. Yeah. This was, it's kind of interesting because we first saw this technology really, I believe the first instance that we saw this was for Seven Dwarfs Mine Train for the new Fantasyland area for Magic Kingdom. Yeah. That would have been...
Actually, I would say the first instance of this was probably Buzz Lightyear. At Buzz Lightyear.
Oh, yes. You know what? You're right. You're exactly right. That was the very first instance of this. And as for what Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters, that would have opened, mid-2000s, at least at Disneyland. I think a little bit earlier for Walt Disney World there. And it was in one scene. It was in the pre-show right there. But then they started, incorporating these new audio animatronics in various attractions, right? And the idea was, well, these are animated characters with very a wide variety of expressions, and so it probably makes sense to make their faces digital or make their faces projection. And I think initially with Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, I think it worked because that art style I thought lent itself a little bit better than the very kind of almost you still have an animated style, but it's more photorealistic with Frozen and those characters. And I just don't think it quite worked. I got a little roll for you or video to show this, Marvin. I want to put that on screen. This kind of shows you what kind of Elsa looks like, currently. And this right here is Hong Kong's version of the same attraction. And when this made its debut, I believe at a couple of expos ago, people were really impressed by it, got a lot of good feedback, and people have been asking ever since this video made its way out to the public, when are we going to see this at Epcot? It seems that they are updating this finally.
Yes, absolutely. It's going to be such an upgrade because you saw in the beginning on, the screenshots that we have of the faces. You can't even really take good pictures of them because the faces don't really photograph well.
That's a great point. Yeah, they don't photograph well. Also, too, when you have a problem in which these projection faces, go offline, it could look really, really, really bad. It's definitely a moment in which you basically have to, shut down the attraction because it's just not show quality. It's not just show quality standard.
Didn't Elsa's face was completely blue at one point? Another time it looked like their eyes were glowing, and it just terrible stuff.
They've had a slew of different issues with these.
Look at that right there, Vash. Also, when you're coming, it looks like a mask.
The line of
face on Elsa is so different from the actual skin of the animatronic that it just literally looks like they're wearing masks.
I mean, when you look at the Seven Dwarfs or Buzz Lightyear, those animated styles I think really work better with this kind of technology, and it's not so distracting than with these characters. You think of Elsa. She's got a particularly slender face, and so when you see these projected faces in which the faces have to kind of be flat in order to illuminate and provide an image that isn't distorted, it just doesn't quite look right, and it never quite worked for this attraction. The other audio animatronics worked very, very well, like Sven or even Olaf, but not with these face characters.
Yeah. Does the Little Mermaid ride have the same projection? I believe they do, if I'm not mistaken.
No, the Little Mermaid does not.
No, okay. I thought Sebastian or there were some characters on that attraction
I
that
don't think there is.
No.
I think Sebastian has, I think his eyes, if I'm not mistaken, are projected, but
okay.
that's about as far as I go. So you've seen parts and pieces
Okay.
be projection, and even on this attraction, that does exist. But unfortunately, when you had the whole face, it just never really worked out.
Yeah.
And so people were really, when they saw the Hong Kong footage, it was like, whoa! It really brought that attraction to life. And obviously, the Japanese getting the deluxe version of this attraction with extended scenes and so forth, they opted for physical as well.
Yeah, face projection is very tricky.
Go ahead, Erica. I'm sorry.
Just facial projections are very, very tricky. I tried to do that for Halloween, and it doesn't come out that great. But I mean, I'm not trying to attempt this on a theme park level either. I'm just, as an amateur, it comes out fine. I can get away with the mistakes. But on a theme park level, no. Okay, I'm sorry. Looking at that, and us ladies see that as a mismatch of the foundation line. That's what we call it in the makeup world. It looks like a bad makeup job on these animatronics, but it's the lighting. The light is too bright because of the lumens from the projector and the face, and then it's hard to get that to project around the face and then down the neck to really. It only projects onto the flat surface that it's intended. There's a whole science to it, and it's not easy. But Disney should have known better from the beginning. Honestly, they're the experts. They're the scientists in all this.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, guys, here is the thing. This is all exciting, and it seems like on its face that it is, again, on its face, that it is a tremendous upgrade. But we've seen what's happened the last time that Disney tried to implement animatronics that are highly advanced in Walt Disney.
Yes.
At Tiana's Bayou Adventure. Vash, do you have some B-roll of Tiana's Bayou Adventure that we can
I think I might have something to share with
While
you.
But look for the B-roll, I just feel like the overseas parks add more care and maintenance than the parks over here in the United States.
A lot of times, MJ, that's because those parks are not owned and operated by Disney entirely.
Yeah.
The Oriental Land Company. You've got Shanghai is partially owned by the Chinese government. So, Disney doesn't have to put up all the money as the way they do here, I guess.
Right.
Let's take a look at Tiana's Bayou Adventure and see what exactly is going on over there, because this has been an absolute disaster. These were supposed to be some of the most advanced animatronics in the world. Imagineering put these over. Josh D'Amaro put these over like they were going to be the next big thing, and it has been an utter disaster. Not just these, the Walt animatronic. It seems like every animatronic now that they try to roll out is buggy and just glitchy and creates experiences that like this. Like here they are talking about the animatronics right here. This was supposed to be the next leap forward, and it ended up being a giant step backward. They don't work. They're basically decaying in the ride. Like we've seen Lewis's neck being torn open and stuff like that. But Vash, what do you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that. No, so they tried the face projection experiment and didn't quite work out as well as expected, and so Imagineering started to shift away from that. And one of the first instances that we saw of this new direction was that certainly Tiana's Bayou Adventure. But, those audio animatronics just simply have not worked out. And we don't quite know the full story. We don't know if it's quite maintenance or if it's quite, maybe perhaps it's underbuilt. I know Culture very much believes that these actuators are just very undersized for the amount of movements actually taking place. We don't know if it's the state of the attraction in that, these audio animatronics, they don't move constantly or I mean they do a little bit, but they do like activate and react to your boat actually sliding by, versus old audio animatronics, they just kind of worked in a rotation, so they were constantly moving. We don't quite know what is going on with these audio animatronics, but they have not worked well at all.
No, they have
Tiana's Bayou Adventure is the showcase of audio animatronics technology, at this current stage here, just not holding up quite as well as maybe older audio animatronics technology had been. And Marvin, exactly right.
We haven't seen anything out of Hong Kong though with the Frozen stuff not working. Like we haven't seen any like major mishaps with that.
Right. So it's kind of like, is it the attractions themselves that they are in? Because, these are older facilities, right? Splash Mountain opening in 1989 over there at Disneyland, and in the 1990s over there in Walt Disney World. So these are older facilities with, older infrastructure when it comes to electrical systems and so forth. Perhaps it's that. Perhaps it's the, unique conditions within these attractions, moisture and so forth, leading to these audio animatronics not working. The felt skiing over Lewis the alligator, that's definitely kind of an issue there. So we don't quite know what is going on. But the worry is that if you switch out these audio animatronics, even just their faces, that could lead to some long-term issues. I know, speaking to some people who were former Imagineers working around this time, they were saying, look, some of these new audio animatronics, they had to be very, very precisely tuned to the weight and the overall characteristics of those audio animatronics, because the way they move and so forth, if they don't get that calibrated 100%, they can shift and start to rock and shake and do all kinds of crazy stuff. So it's not as easy as, okay, put the head here and the head here. It really has to be done with some level of care. Hopefully they're doing that with Epcot. We'll see.
Yep. 100%, guys. So at the end of the day, we should be excited about these new Frozen animatronics. They are going to add to the experience, but we have been burned and hurt before, and it will we will see, guys, whether or not this is an upgrade or whether Disney is taking Frozen down to the Bayou.
Thanks for watching That Park Plays News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.